PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan said in a memo to players how most tournaments that were just this year raised to a designated level with $20 million purses would be altered yet again for 2024 by limiting the fields to 60 to 70 players with no cut. It feels like the PGA is making some serious structure changes, and this just may be the tip of the iceberg. So let's dig into this a little more and find out what this all means for the players on tour, because these recent changes were met with mixed reactions. The anticipated changes mentioned at the top of this video have many implications. Most notably, the star players get richer, leaving more up-and-coming lower-ranked players wavering and wondering where they stand in all of this. As Max Homa points out, the financial roof is being raised while the bottom floor remains the same. Now, this may sound appealing, but with the floor remaining the same is where the problem lies. Fields in the elevated events are set to be filled by the top 50 players who qualified for the BMW Championship in previous season's FedEx Cup playoffs, plus the top 10 players in the current year's FedEx Cup standings not already exempt. 5 places will also be available for top performers in non-designated events. Criteria will also consider the official World Golf Ranking. The stars in the game are clearly pleased about these opportunities that await, while those players outside of the popular group have been mostly silent, well, up until now. Veteran James Hahn has put his hard feelings out in the open in an interview with Golfweek, even calling out Tiger Woods for making big money from the tour despite rarely competing. Hahn went on to say, "I'm going to say exactly what 99.99% of fans said about players leaving for the LIV Tour. If other players just said, 'We're doing this for money,' I would have a lot more respect for them. But now they're covering up what they're doing, and they're trying to make it a thing about sponsors and fans and saving opposite field events. I think that's all BS." Hahn continued to say, "Right now they're just covering their ass and saying everything that the PGA Tour basically has trained them to say, have taught them to say, and try to make it not about the money when everyone knows 100% it's about more guaranteed money being funneled to the top players in the world. We've been talking about money for the last 2 years, and for them to say that's not the number one reason why they're making these changes, it's very, very hypocritical." A number of top players have expressed that these changes are a big step forward amid the PGA Tour's efforts to counter the guaranteed contracts and hefty purses being offered by LIV Golf. Other observers have expressed concern that lower-ranked, less household name players will be shut out from some of the most high-profile events. Is that a fair move for the PGA to make? I mean, in any other major sport, the best players get paid the most money, and that's basically what this sounds like. But is that discouraging for any other players who are sitting out of the top 100 right now? Shane Ryan says, "The more you learn about tour history, the more you learn about the push and pull between benefiting the best and famous players and having a very democratic, merit-based tour with plenty of opportunity for the rank and file. And right now, the balance tipped to the better players because there is a really lucrative alternative for the world's best golfers. So no, there aren't enough spots, but I also completely get why the tour is doing this and why I feel like it has to do this. It satisfies the elites while strengthening the fields of the non-designated events. And it does that while maintaining some drama for the guys trying to fight their way to the top level." These changes were received positively from Eric Cole, a PGA Tour rookie who has less certainty to be in the designated events in 2024. Cole has been a pro golfer for 14 years and finally upgraded to the PGA Tour for this season. The 34-year-old was a surprising and uplifting story at the Honda Classic when, in just his 15th PGA Tour start, he took Chris Kirk to a sudden death playoff before falling on the first hole. When asked about the changes, Cole said, "If you play good golf, you're going to get rewarded." It seems like there's an opportunity for guys that aren't in the top 50 to end up being there. It seems like there's a decent opportunity for the guys who are playing really well right before the designated events to get into them. We'll just have to see how it ends up shaking out. Kevin Chappell, a one-time PGA Tour winner in 271 starts, who currently ranks 191st in the current FedEx Cup standings, tweeted this out. "The carrot sure got bigger, but it seemed to have moved further away from the majority of those playing professional golf. I believe this could lead to shorter but more lucrative careers like tennis." Chappell, who has made $16.7 million on the PGA Tour, also tweeted this out. "If you're LIV, it becomes easier to recruit players. Look for players 51 to 70 on FedEx list to leave and go take the guarantee somewhere else." Now, when you look at Scottie Scheffler, he was playing on the Korn Ferry Tour in 2019. In January of last year, he hadn't won a PGA Tour event, but the Texan caught fire, winning the WM Phoenix Open, API, WGC Match Play, and the Masters in 6 starts. Scheffler's story makes the point that regular tournaments will be more advantageous for some players who don't qualify for designated events. It has been reported that the new look 2024 schedule would see 2 designated events followed by 3 non-designated tournaments. The top 5 earners in points from those 3 non-designated stops would then qualify for the next 2 designated events. The 120 guys in the field this year, those 50 additional guys who may not be able to get in those 70-man fields, are going to be playing a lot of the other events where the purses aren't going down. I think it's going to benefit the membership as a whole, Scheffler said. This is obviously a huge change for the PGA to be making, but is this the right change? It's a little jarring since it feels as though the PGA has been the same forever, but that's not a reason to not make any changes. I want to flip this over to you, the viewer. Let us know how you feel about these new changes the PGA is making in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching our video. If you haven't yet, drop us a like, leave us a comment, and if you're looking for more golf content, don't forget to subscribe.